Elements said the Busy Builder is now live. Streaming art, Subtember painting figures and characters.
There we are. And we are joined by Allie on the desk. She has claimed her box. What else is new, right? Look at that face. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, just taking a minute to make sure I got everything else kind of where I want it. Why is this taking forever? There we go. All right. Leonich? Is that how you say that name? Welcome to the channel. Okay. Sorry, just sizing my reference images to size. Careful, Allie. You almost sent that box off the desk before. She got down. She'll be back later, probably running off to bug her brother. Hello. How goes it? We actually got a little bit of rain here today. It was nice. If it weren't for the fact that it's probably going to hit about 80, I'd go open the windows. Let me see. Yeah, too hot. Yeah, that could have been bad. Hey George, how you doing? This is Poppy from one of the Xenosaga games. Or not Xenosaga. Xenoblade. She starts out as this little steampunk mechanical character and then through the course of the game develops into this. Figured I'd get the straps on one side painted, let them dry, and then come back and do the other side, because knowing me and my luck with red, yeah. Hey Snick, long time no see, how you doing? How go the island jams, man? I'm alright. Older, crankier, but I'm here. Trying to raise money to get a Humvee next year. Mm-hmm. I try, and like I get why other people leave, and I've always said, is it cool if I make a little cash off of here? Sure. That's not why I do it though. I just get frustrated when I try something new and nothing comes of it, you know? But I've got YouTube and KickUp as well. Yes, I've eaten breakfast, so I don't know why I've got a little bit of a shake. Probably haven't digested enough. It would be interesting to go back and see how many of the accounts we've all followed are dead or no longer do what they had originally did. I've noticed a lot of the people I first started following and watching don't do figures anymore. They don't do miniatures, they don't do models, they do games. Well, for me, I know it's partly what I do, and partly my attitude. I know I'm not for everybody, you know. Um, and let's face it, especially on Twitch, middle-aged white man ain't gonna do shit. I hate to say it that way. Twitch is actually coming under fire for a lot of stuff related to things like that, where I don't think so, because if that was the case, it would also translate over to YouTube, and my scale stuff does better on YouTube. Kick, I think, is just a desert right now. But look at the actions Twitch has taken recently, and the kinds of people that are getting promoted. They aren't exactly the kind of people you want to associate with much anymore. I don't watch the guy. I've seen some things related to him. Look up the name Hassan Piker. He's actually made national news, and the things that he's been called out for and not banned, which would have had all of us shut down permanently if we did it. So I think there's a big demographic issue on Twitch, and it does not help people like myself or Warduck.
George Davis said probably an older audience that prefer YouTube over Twitch.
I wouldn't say age has anything to do with it. I've gotten a lot of younger interest. Not that I'm aiming for that in terms of like the 20-something crowd. This is for anyone. Obviously, when I'm painting stuff like this, not for kids, so I've got my channel labeled not for kids. But at the same time, it's more about the accessibility. Twitch is more of a shotgun, or not shotgun. Twitch is more streamlined. It's mainly for gaming. Don't forget that. It has channels for people that do this, but Twitch's bread and butter is gaming. That's why it's called Twitch. It's a style of gameplay, especially on first-person shooter games. We've just happened to get our own little corner of the site, and they ignore us. But overall, YouTube is more of a shotgun, where there's people that won't go to Twitch because of how it is, but YouTube will feed us to people. So say somebody watches a singular video on painting a figure. That's in the title of this one. YouTube will go, maybe that person will want to see this. You know, Twitch doesn't do that. It just puts their most popular streamers of the day on their front page, thinking you might click on them. I think it's better to stream on YouTube, period. Put it this way. I've been streaming on Twitch for 8 years. And I know for a modeling channel, this is probably quite a lot of followers. But it's still not... It's a drop in the bucket. Let's see what we got here. I got 740 followers after 8 years, right? On YouTube, I'm already at 590 after about a year. So by that metric, YouTube is going to outpace Twitch almost 3 to 1.
George Davis said, and all the ones with 1,000 plus viewers probably don't need the extra views.
I'm not going to say it's a question of need or don't need. Twitch also had... YouTube has a wider audience. More people who are more randomly interested in things, I think. There's another issue that Twitch had recently, where people would artificially inflate their audience by doing what's known as view botting, whether consciously or subconsciously. You know, other people could do it too, like Aries is an admin here. And I know he wouldn't, and I would not ask him to, but people can go and sign you up on a page or for a program that will essentially get bots to view your channel. Hence the name viewbotting. And that channel will suddenly go from 3 or 4 viewers to, say, 100 or 1,000, right? What do you think Twitch's algorithm is going to do once it starts seeing, hey, there's 1,000 things watching this channel? They're going to push that channel harder. You know, it'll get more attention, and then the growth will be exponential. And that had been happening a lot. Like, enough that they had to take measures in the past few months to shut it down. And channels that had once gotten 8,000 viewers are now getting 1. Or not 1 viewer, but 1,000 by comparison. So there's a lot of change going on, but that still doesn't change the demographic watching what they watch. And honestly, there's not many people out there watching figure painting on Twitch. It's just one of the services I've got. And depending on how, because they've been called into Congress to discuss what they're allowing on their streams in terms of certain leanings and certain Twitch streamers, like the aforementioned Hassan Piker. And they are going to really have to face the music. Twitch may not exist soon if the wrong things happen. At least not as the site we know it. It's also not making money for Amazon. It's been running at a constant loss since the day it was incepted. Twitch has never turned a profit for Amazon. And the reason I also think there's a bias on the channel is look what they put in charge of the channel back in the day when they were trying to make that Trust and Safety Council. And there was that individual who honestly exhibited very clear signs of mental issues because they thought they were a deer. And they wanted them in charge of the Trust and Safety Council? Or not in charge of it, but part of it? Nah. So yeah, I think for Twitch to be fixed, it actually needs to be torn down. But that's just my take on it. That's from what this one user has experienced and seen. I'm not going to go into anything on other people's channels because that's their channel. Their way of doing things is not my way of doing things, so I wish them the best, but at the same time, I'm not them. I never stopped. I keep changing. You notice my background's different. I've got a larger room in the house. You know? I've done different things to try and change it up. The overall format's the same. Other users, let's see, in recent years, I think this is while you were away, one user actually bought me a totally new PC setup. Got the different overhead lights, got a better microphone. You know, I don't know if the changes are noticeable to you, but it makes it easier to listen to. And I notice it on other channels that if the person's voice hurts, you don't want to watch. And a good microphone is all the difference, especially once you... I needed help because I'm very computer illiterate when it comes to this stuff. But Aries helped me set up the sound filters, the audio depth, and everything on the microphone. So I don't know if you guys notice it, but it's there. Okay, what do I want to do next? Yeah, since we're in the red phase, let's get the metallic red out and paint the parts of her ears that need it. I think you should get back into at least figure painting. You were better at it than I am. I'll say that, no problem. You had more subtle effects than I had. That's all the printing though. That's not me doing anything. That's the 3D printer. Okay. I'm gonna be painting over a little bit of this with black. I just want to have the coverage. Oh yeah. This is one I did a few months ago. I just finished up a massive print of Blackout from the 2007 Transformers. We're going to get to that pretty soon, I think. We'll be working on this by Ritual Casting, Ritual Design. I've been kind of at a brain block on it because it's niche within niche. It's a character on a jet-powered wakeboard on water, and I'm just trying to figure out how I want to paint it. I hope it's not a health issue or anything like that. I'm more selective in my printing now. I don't just print willy-nilly like I used to. Okay. See, I've got a larger room, so obviously better ventilation. I don't really smell it. Either that or my sense of smell is just trash. Okay. Oh, forgot these up here. Well, what resin were you using? I've noticed the Elegoo has a very low smell. But I know like Sunlu and some other brands had a very strong smell. I'm using the Saturn II right now. But I get it, you know. Different hobbies and different interests, you know, fade in and out for certain people too. I think your figure painting was great, so there's that. You were doing things I haven't even tried yet, like the water bases and things. You see, I have a harder problem with the urethane resin than I do with the printing resin. Yeah, you gotta. I have tons of bad results. You gotta just kind of not let that defeat you. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. Every model I do has a screw up in it somewhere or another. You want to see one of the latest ones I did finish? Give me a second. It's this, the LAV25. The wheels on it are printed because the kit wheels were too wide. They were actually wrong on a fundamental level. And if you find my YouTube channel, this is on the shorts as well. You can see that, and the streams where I built it. Let me go put this back on the shelf so it's not in the way. Keep knocking stuff over. I am very uncoordinated today, guys. Just gonna let you know about that. I am not all together here right now. When am I ever all together here, though, right? No, that's gunship. I need medium gray. I think this is it. There's aggressor. I'll keep that one to the side just in case. Yeah, just click that link, Snick, and you'll see you'll go to my YouTube page. That's right. We don't have a Kick link, so if you want to go to Kick as well, boop, boop, there. We don't have everything cross-referencing itself. We need more cross-referencing. YouTube is banned in Greece? That might explain a lot for you then. Or you can't go to Kick in Greece. Thank you. Which one's banned in Greece? Kick? That's very strange. Wow. That's actually kind of surprising. Alright, so what do I want to do on these? I'm trying to remember what... I kind of stopped painting on this, and now I'm trying to remember what and where and how and why. I'll get the metallic red going on these real quick. Oh, that's right. I think that's why. You could always use a VPN. But I'm trying to grow the YouTube side a little bit more right now anyway. Kick I'd like to grow because you get a better return than Twitch gives you. But YouTube is it's the one that can get the most return for the time invested. Hey, Mr. Swede, how you doing? Am I even working in frame? My reference picture's blocking things. That is the one thing that Kick's been criticized on, is their gambling streams, so I'll give you that. It was okay 8 years ago. Now the cracks are really beginning to show. I'm doing this red first because there's some black details I've got to do on it. And it's easier to paint over this if you screw up. What's going on here? I don't know. Kick is... Sorry, hold on. Kick is kick. I don't know how else to, I don't know how else to describe it. It doesn't feel as regulated as Twitch, if that makes any sense. It has a few, yeah. They just don't get traveled as heavily as they do on Twitch. That's why I've got mine just set up for just chatting on there, because I'm doing this, but it's more just a BS with people. And that's why I do this. It's... If I can make... Like I said, if I can make some money on the side, great. But it's more just to have people to talk to, so I'm not just sitting down here on my day off with the music going la-di-da all to myself, you know? It's really just to have people to talk to while you're doing it. And that's what it's always been since the start on Twitch 8 years ago, so... Yeah. There's that one done for that color. Where's the other arm? There it is. But I'm still doing Twitch anyway because, one, I'm established, and two, if there's an entity there that doesn't like me, then they gotta live with it because I'm not breaking the rules. There goes an F-35. I don't know if that got picked up on the microphone at all. Yeah, YouTube, the biggest hurdle on YouTube is the initial hurdles before you can start things like the YouTube equivalent to like bits and donations and stuff on there. So before you can activate the super chats, And right now I still need either 3,000 hours total viewing or I think it's like 1,000,000 shorts views. Or is it 3,000,000? I'd have to look. The gate for entry as far as stuff like that on YouTube is a lot higher. Which stands to reason because it's, in a way, you can make revenue quicker. Okay, let me see. Yeah, so if I want to turn on super chats and memberships right now, I still need about 2,500 watch hours from across the board, or 3,000,000 shorts views. So it's a long climb, but I understand that it gets easier once you start getting more subs dropping in. So I went with a lighter gray on her armored parts. So I want to match that on the arms now. Which gray did I use, though? I forget. I want to say I started with an aggressor gray, shadowed with a mix of gunship, and then highlighted with neutral gray. Or gull gray, one or the other. Actually, let's get this out of the way. The hair. Because I want to paint this with light gull gray, then wash it with blue ink. There we go. Thank you, Snick. Took a minute for that to come through. I saw the notification on my phone, though. Okay. Because her hair is like a blue-gray color, I got two options. I could go in with this color, base it in that, and then dry brush it lighter. Or I could go in with this, and then give it a blue wash. Because I think her let me look at the character art real quick. Give me a sec. It's a little bit bluer in the character. And I just want to try this to see what difference it can make in the hair. Or should I just airbrush it? I didn't want to airbrush today. That's another reason why I chose figure painting like this. Yeah, we'll brush paint it. That reminds me, I still have that two-seat ME-163 to finish up. I never got around to finishing it because after COVID, everything went stupid. Hell, I even changed jobs in that time. Ah. Yeah, I think doing this with the blue wash is going to turn out more interesting. I hope. We'll see. And it depends. The wash might turn out too blue, and I'll just have to dunk this thing in Windex or something to strip it back down and start over using more traditional means. Come on, you. Don't do that. I need better handholds. I need better hands. Ones that don't hurt anymore. Set that there for a sec. Let it dry a bit so I can hold it by other portions to paint the rest. Thank goodness for pointy bits. There, put that over there. Maybe I should have airbrushed this one. It's like trying to paint Medusa's scalp. Who's that? Is that Allie? That's Allie. Good girl. So, Snick, we also have Allie. She's a new addition to the family here. Picked her up about 2 years ago. Found her abandoned in a snowdrift. Yeah. Good girl. Lie down.
Snixon said, and Paul, I see the new cat. It's so cute.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she most of the time likes to try and get up in front of the camera, but I've learned if I put a box on the desk, the box is fine. She stays away from the camera if there's a box. But I can only fit a box so many times, especially on some of the larger things I do. Okay, I think I got most of it. I've got to get in there. We actually got 2 new cats that year. I need fewer cats. Okay. There we go. Let that dry. Yeah, I'm gonna start with the aggressor gray. Clean up the palette for a second. You being good? Hmm? Bellies. Yeah, getting bellies. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. You have box. You don't need to get in here. No. 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 Box. Lie down. She tries. Okay. I thought you were keeping an eye on somebody. She just turned around to turn around. Come on, let me... So my next days off will be Sunday, Monday next week as well. But as usual, I'll try and get a couple in during the week. We're definitely going to have to come back with the black line wash on these. I'm glad I didn't try and make the figure larger though. There's a lot of good detail, but at the same time, a lot of it's really thick in terms of like the lining and everything. So it wouldn't have gotten better getting larger. Like what seems like thin details now would have become huge canyons and just wouldn't fit. They wouldn't look right. Kind of like the cell shading. Not yet, but I do have plans to do it on a VF1 Batroid kit to make it look like the animation. Don't know when that'll be. Maybe this year. Just got to find the time to get around to that particular model. I want to finish up 3 or 4 of the other Macross models in front of it before I do. I've gotten really bad at that. We'll come back and do some highlights on those too. We're going to go from that and make it look more like how that looks. Change how I'm sitting a little bit. Get more comfy. Ow. But today, so far, has been a nice, overcast, dreary, early autumn day, which I have been wanting for a little bit now, because it's been really dry and hot this year. Like, no rain, no. Every time they forecast it, it goes away. Like, it's to the point where I'm afraid to wash my car because I get the apocalypse coming in. And there is a bit of a print failure on this figure's armor. I'm really not too bothered by it, so I'm not going to worry about fixing it. It falls in the category, if you didn't notice it before I said anything, then I don't need to worry about it. Looks like I picked the right gray back up. Yeah, neutral gray. Cool. I'm doing this to give the hair time to dry, so when I get back to that and put the wash on it, I can then come back to outlining details on this while the wash dries. Okay. So what do y'all think of Tron Ares so far? I'm torn because I really don't want to give money to Disney. But at the same time, Tron, and if we don't at least support Tron, they won't make any more good ones in the future. Yeah, there's a third film coming out, Tron Ares. It's a sequel to Tron Legacy and what was the animated series? Uprising. It's like I don't want to see it because modern Disney. It's not out yet. Not until October.
Aris Studios said they'll give it a look when it comes out.
You'll see. You'll get it off the high seas and then see if it's worth it.
Snipsy said the previous movie.
Oh, dude, you're missing out. The main thing that's got me hesitant is Jared Leto. But something I've seen recently tells me he might not be playing the typical evil Jared Leto character. Because the trailers gave a little more away. And the chick with the shaved hair is actually chasing him because he broke his programming conditioning. And I hate to say it, when Jared Leto's actually given a character he can work with, he doesn't do terribly. Lord of War, when he was playing Nicolas Cage's character's brother, I thought he was actually pretty good in that. The reason he's been getting a lot of bad press, besides his, his whole cult leader thing that came around, is because he'd been doing a lot of movies where he's having to fit into the shoes of other previously established characters, i.e. the Joker. Or he's having to bring to life a character that again was already established, but make it work, so i.e. Morbius. But if you look at how he played the blind dude in Blade Runner 2049, that wasn't bad. You got what he was trying to convey with that character, you know? And it wasn't overacted or anything like that. It fit with what he was trying to do. There's going to be a lot of minor touch-ups to do on this one, but I think it'll turn out okay. Yeah, if you haven't seen the first two Trons, then you really... It wouldn't hurt to go see them. They're not bad films by any means. They're actually quite fun. Ow. You've broken the box! You wide loaf. Yeah, you broke the box. Look at it. Your pudgy butt broke the corner. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna glue a couple things on. But first, I need... So this one goes here. But will it interfere with trying to get this one on? Yes, it will. Damn it. Okay, so we're not there yet. Where's that rose color? Not rust, rose. Come here, you. Brown rose, there it is. I want to bring out some more of the cybernetic body lines. But the hair is dry enough. Let's do our experiment. I'll do it on the front piece first, let it dry, see what it does, and then I'll be able to tell if it's something I want to continue with or redo. Kind of like what it's doing. Yeah, that's knocking it down into that range. Well, camera's not showing this one well, but trust me. Yeah, we'll go with that for right now. I'm going to take a quick move around break. So I'll put up the pause screen. If anyone else has been sitting on their ass as long as I have right now, also please get up and move around. Your circulation will thank you. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. We got more rain on the way, too. Alright, let's do more wash on this. While that's drying, then we'll go to the brown rose and finish outlining all of the more cybernetic looking lines in her skin. Then I've got a way to make that pop a little more, I think, too. Because now the wash is settling and drying, I like how it's turning out. We'll probably have to hit it with a dull coat when it's done. Probably dry brush it a little bit just to bring the peaks back out. Good thing I have a lot of this. I don't use this color. The wife got this set as a experiment for me back in Christmas. So I've been learning how to use it in my own way. Looks like I ran into a patch that hadn't dried yet. That's okay. This'll mix in. And the music's over. Let's get some more of that going. Yeah, this is harder to do on the large hair because I got to keep kind of slapping it around a little bit from different angles and directions until it sets. So this one might take a few passes. Get that in there. This one I just heard marbles. But as far as I know, he's upstairs with Jen in the office. So on this, I'm probably going to do all I can. Let it dry, then go back and find what I missed, because a lot of hidden little corners. And I'm just trying a new effect. Typically, I would have painted it kind of like this mid-grain blue tone. Airbrushed on a darker blue for shadow areas, and then dry brushed in the base color and the highlights again to restore the volume. So I'm just seeing if I can get a new technique or tool that I could use on other figures in other ways. I think I got most everything. Looks like it. So let's get you over here. These will need medium gray. Excuse me. Woo! So I got most of them on the legs. We're just working on the torso area. Actually, I should say the shoulder area. And we'll give the legs another look-see and make sure I didn't miss anything. And I forgot to paint those. Good thing we're getting the medium gray back out. Hey Jeffs, how you doing? At least tell me you got a line in the water. Oh, yeah. No, I get you there. Yeah, we're not there yet here, but we're getting close. Typically, the air temperature drops before the snow does. Now, why would you go and do a thing like that? We can't be having random fishing pole snappings now, can we? Alright, which one of these is the front again? It's this one because it's got the impression of her chest. As it goes right there. It's supposed to be the 80s here, but we're also entering October soon, and there's times where it snowed in the middle of October. Alright, so we are going to work on painting the emblem that is on her cloak next. Where's my off-white? Well, I'm up in Utah, but I'm at 5,000 feet above sea level, so once the temperature changes start here, they happen rapidly. We're just going to start with white. I have it, I just can't find it, unless that's it right there. Come here, you. Nope, that's silver. I've got an army painter bottle that I mixed up a really light white gray. There we go. Because I want to use white for the highlight.
Jeff Strandberg hoping Decade sets their catalog will eventually close in October.
Yeah, same here. We've had it snow here on the 18th of October. I need my finest brush. And by finest, I mean smallest, not my best. I really need to clean, condition, and replace some brushes here soon. It is really hard to find a good sable anymore. You buy one you think is sable and it just turns out it's a variation of nylon, and I hate nylon brushes. And I want a yellow sand color for a minute before I put the yellow over it. Ow. Now I gotta figure out this crest that goes around it. We'll start with that there. And then we'll do one there. One there. I should really have drawn this out with a watercolor pencil first. But you know what? We're gonna live dangerously. Basically, it's just a bunch of crow's feet chevrons that tie together as they come down. I may have made it too far off to the side, but I'll live with that. There's no provision for this marking on the character anyway in the 3D files. So I'm kind of making it up as I go along based on the character art. And we'll throw one more in here. Then I can go back with yellows and golds and really make this pop. Just using this as a base. Why does this remind me of a Hogwarts scarf? And I'm really just trying to mimic an extremely blurry zoomed in picture here. Kind of like trying to figure out the gold pattern that was painted on Chronos 1 aside from the photo etched parts that were on it. I think that got it pretty well though. Now let's get a neutral gray out. Ow, 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 ow. Ah, there. Seeing if any cats want to jump up. Nope. Arnie's asleep on the couch. I had to kick him out of the bedroom. This is going to take some shaking. There we go. Now it's starting to pop a little bit. The camera doesn't pick it up very much, but trust me, putting the deep yellow on top of the mustard yellow. But not all the way. I'm still leaving some of the mustard showing. See if the camera will show a difference between the two. So we're at 591 subscribers on YouTube. You think we'll bust 600 by December? I don't know what I did, but I got 10 more alone in this past week. And I haven't seen growth like that since I first started the channel. To quote Emperor Palpatine, you know, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Okay, now let's just go one notch lighter. And I should have used white, not that gray. Damn it. The gray knocked the intensity down, unfortunately. And Allie's back. Hi, girl. Gonna get in your box? Good girl. No, don't play with that. That's not for you. She really likes testing the waters when she jumps up here. Cat, will you stop tickling my arm with your tail, please? Thank you. Yeah, I think that's all I'm really going to do on that. There we go. Girl. No bellies? No, no bellies. You're giving nibbles. Just be sure you don't go sliding off the edge of the desk when you do that. I saw that box move. Okay, we got the medium gray up still. Let's go back to the arms, get some of the arm armor done. Try and say that 5 times fast. Okay. I'm just repainting the armor because I think I went a little too dark on it with how I want it to look. I originally went with gunship gray, but when I saw it against the bodysuit and some of the other details, it didn't pop enough. So I went a couple shades higher. And while it is brighter, it fits the overall image a bit better, I think. So has anybody seen the comet that's supposed to be becoming visible right now? And then there's another one by mid-October. That's better. That pops a bit more. Let's get this arm done. And then I'm going to start working on our weapon a little bit more. Sorry, taking a cat break. Easy to do when they're on the desk with you. So did everybody else's weekend go okay? Mine feels like it's gone by too quickly. Just way too quickly. Yeah, I figured as much. Like, nothing went extremely wrong, but at the same time, you wish you had more time for everything else to go better. Weapon. I need to lay in some aluminum. Or aluminium, as they say across the pond. Because once the aluminum's dry, these will all be getting painted in clear blue. For like an anodized effect.
George Davis said new Avatar beta released in December.
I'm not excited about that. The first one was interesting to me because it had some new designs, and it was interesting to see how James Cameron had changed his overall way of doing things. But then you just realize it's Dances with Wolves with aliens. And a lot.
Davis said wish they'd spend longer on set to make the thing actually good instead of a cash grab.
Right? But I also think Jim realizes how much money he. I don't want to say money, time. How much time he wasted making them, and that it's like. Oops. We're told he filmed them concurrently. But how much of that had to be reshot because of, the typical, oh, the technology changed excuse or anything like that. I don't know. I think I was most disappointed in the new one, in that it just felt like a mix of different story threads we'd seen before again. So, like, how the first one was Dances with Wolves with aliens. It was kind of the same, but now with a Pacific Islander motif. And they already gave stuff away in the trailer. Now, if a human is resurrected by the planet, then said human can now do the hair thing. It's like, whatever. It's like, I get it, it's James Cameron's unique property, but now we're on the third one, it's starting to feel like the same sequel grabbing crap. It just feels like the same sequel grabbing crap everybody else is doing instead of really putting effort.
George Davis said the whole thing is spoiled by the trailer.
It really is. So, damn it. If the first one was, oh, we must save the Earth gods, Then the second one was the water gods. Third one is the fire. So does that mean the fourth one's going to be the airbender? We're finally going to get a real Avatar Last Airbender? Wait, that's not how it works. And it looks like there's a lot of retreading of old action scenes too in the trailer.
George Davis said in the second Avatar Part 2 that the humans also grew people, and the guy still hasn't met up with his stepson.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it falls in the usual Cameron tropes. Damn it.
George Davis said we need a decent Avatar Last Airbender too.
Well, if you want that, just watch the anime. Just like everybody else is like, oh, we need a great live-action Macross Plus. No, we don't. Macross Plus is Macross Plus. Watch it. You know? You saw that too, huh? It's like, I don't like how that's sitting. Last time I tried moving it, it snapped it though. Better than nothing. I wanted to put the black paint on, but since I just sprayed it with the accelerant, I gotta wait a minute. So let's see what color I need for the eyes. I think I need... We're gonna go with that one.
George Davis said some of the comments are also good. They are just expensive for the time you spend reading.
Are you talking like the Avatar manga, or are you talking the James Cameron shit? Okay, that... Yellow... Okay. Trying to look in on a couple different takes on her eyes. Yeah, like a honey gold color is what we're looking for. Any mangas like that. I'm going to use an older one as an example. Look at Akira. 6 pretty thick volumes, pretty expansive story, but when you read it, it moves like a film. You know, like it's fast reading. And a lot of the good ones do that. A lot of the good mangas do that. They don't sit too long. They keep moving, which is what makes them work. You know, I don't know how many Batman and Spider-Man comics and Superman. No, not so much Superman, but Batman and Spider-Man and all them. How many of those comics are spent with the main character having an existential crisis on the meaning of their existence lately? How many times do we need to be told that Bruce Wayne's parents were shot? You know? How many times do we have to see Uncle Ben die? That's getting kind of annoying.
George Davis said the Attack on Titan manga I like, though I only have the first 6 volumes so far.
Attack on Titan never really grabbed me, unfortunately. I think it was something to do with the art style. I just didn't like. And with me, art style plays a lot into it. I'm afraid, like, it's kind of like getting the wrong spoon size.
George Davis said that's all there is to those characters though.
What? Sorry, I missed something here. Big stretch. Big stretch for the wide loaf. Excuse me again. And I just remembered. Yeah, we're gonna have to come back and do a second pass on all the gold parts. Which gray did I use? I did not use the right gray. Oh well. I'll do them at a later time then. I've never opened this before. I can't wait to get the hair on her. Looks like she's got a 9-mile long forehead. Actually, that helps put things into perspective a little bit. Actually, I should probably shake this up a bit more than I did before. That's better. So whoever did the sculpt on this put an eye shine wedge in the iris. I don't like that because it doesn't allow you to move the eye where you really want it. And they didn't put... You always want to put two right across from each other, kind of. Come on. There. And that's the best I can do. Sorry if I'm being a little quiet, just nothing on my mind right now. I think a lot of what I'm doing is pretty straightforward, so I'm not really explaining too much, I'm afraid. But if you are wondering what I'm doing, you can ask. And what's the worst that can happen? No, I won't tell you. I need the gold. Gold, gold, gold. I can never remember where I put my gold paint either. There we go. That helps the eyes a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, all put together, that works really well. Okay. But I have to let some things dry. I'm going to call it a stream. It's a bit shy of 3 hours, but we're at a stopping point for the moment. I want to get some lunch, too. I actually might try and be back on a little bit later this afternoon. So if you want to hang out some more in a bit, I'll be on probably in about 3 hours. So take it easy and have a good day. If I'm not back, I'll see you next Sunday. So everybody